The government keeps saying that inflation is below 6%. I've said it before too, and I find it very hard to believe even today. Every day I go out to buy stuff, I find it more expensive than the last time. How is the yearly inflation below 6% if vegetables and oil are going up like crazy and they just don't get tired of rising up? The answer lies in RBI's recent discussion and clarification. Normally, RBI can control inflation through indirect tools like repo rate, reverse repo rate, MSS, OMOs, etc. But there are also situations when RBI is unable to control inflation. You might ask, what are these situations? Let me tell you, the present culprit behind a sticky inflation in India that RBI is unable to tame is structural weaknesses in agriculture supply chains, due to which India is unable to control food inflation. In short, non-technical terms, supply-side constraints cannot be controlled by RBI. Let's dive a little deeper in order to understand why RBI is not capable of controlling food inflation. The first reason is structural weaknesses in India's agricultural supply chains. For example, tomatoes follow the classic cobweb model of price. Because tomatoes are perishable, their prices go down immediately after harvesting, but then the prices also shoot up when tomatoes are in short supply. Climate change also has a big role to play in higher fluctuations in the prices of tomatoes. Unseasonal rains have become more common, due to which supply of tomatoes fluctuates more, contributing to higher fluctuation in inflation as well. Tomato is not the only food crop that results in higher inflation. There is onion and then potato. These are other vegetables that contribute to food inflation due to problems in their storage and in their processing. The government did eventually come up with Operation Greens in 2018 in order to stabilize prices of tomato, onion and potato. It was famously called as TOP scheme as well. The focus of Operation Green was to work on value chains like converting tomatoes to ketchup and paste so that it could be used in lean periods without higher inflation. But as the scheme expanded to other vegetables, it lost focus. The second reason that is often cited by many economists, and that is right now into a lot of discussions as well, and even the economic survey in India has also said the same, is that India's CPI headline inflation has a very high weightage of food, which is up to 46%. As food inflation is not under the control of RBI, nor can it be reduced using monetary policy tools, some economists believe that India should reduce the weight of food in CPI headline inflation, so that inflation can be targeted better and India's inflation numbers can also be compared with developed countries like US and Germany, where the weightage of food in CPI is also lesser. Now, the problem with this is there is a counter-argument. The counter-argument to this reason by economists like Dr. Raghuram Rajan is that food is an important aspect, important part of people's total out-of-pocket monthly expenditure in India. Unlike developed countries, India still spends a major portion of its income on food. Therefore, reducing its weight in CPI inflation is not a solution, but only a diversion. Imagine RBI telling you that inflation is under control, but when you go to a shop for daily food requirements, you find it to be too expensive. If that happens, your trust over the claims made by RBI are bound to fall. That is not what we want, right? It's a tricky situation because on one hand, RBI would not want to go after targeting something it can't control eventually, while on the other hand, people's trust over RBI's claims matters a great deal in something like inflation that is as much psychological as it is real. I hope now your understanding of why inflation targeting is becoming so difficult for RBI is more clear. This is it from my side for this video. If you have any thoughts, feel free to pen them down in the comment section below. All the best.